Records in sports are made to be broken, or so they say. In the world of hockey, certain achievements stand like monuments to greatness, towering above the rest and seemingly untouchable despite decades of attempts. The NHL has evolved dramatically since its early days. Faster skaters, better equipment, advanced training methods. Yet some records remain frozen in time, becoming more impressive with each passing season. The history of hockey is filled with remarkable feats, but there exists an elite category of records that defy modern challenges. These aren't just impressive statistics, they're legendary accomplishments that showcase the absolute pinnacle of what's possible on the ice. Even as today's superstars push the boundaries of the game, these 7 records continue to stand unchallenged, perhaps forever out of reach. As we explore these unbreakable NHL records, we'll journey through different eras of hockey and meet the extraordinary players who achieve the seemingly impossible. From Iron Man streaks that defy human endurance to scoring totals that boggle the mind, these 7 records represent achievements so remarkable that they may truly stand forever. Let's count down the most untouchable records in NHL history, benchmarks so extreme that future generations of hockey fans might only read about them rather than witness new players surpass them. Record number 7, Glenn Hall's 502 consecutive games as goaltender. The 7th spot on our list belongs to a record that perfectly captures the toughness of hockey's golden era. From 1955 to 1962, Glenn Mr. Goalie Hall started an incredible 502 consecutive regular season games in net for the Detroit Red Wings and Chicago Blackhawks. This streak becomes even more astonishing when you consider the conditions Hall played under. No mask protecting his face, minimal padding compared to today's standards, and facing slap shots from some of hockey's hardest shooters. Hall's dedication to his position went beyond normal human limits. Throughout this marathon streak, he battled through injuries, illness, and the physical toll of being a goaltender in an era when player safety was an afterthought. Perhaps most incredibly, Hall was known to vomit before nearly every game due to nerves, yet never missed a start. His pre-game routine became as legendary as his reflexes between the pipes. In today's NHL, top goaltenders rarely play more than 65 games in an 82-game season. Teams employ goaltending tandem, sports science departments monitor fatigue, and coaches implement strict load management. The modern record for consecutive starts doesn't even approach halfway to Hall's mark. When you consider how the position has evolved, with faster shots, more physically demanding butterfly styles, and rigorous travel schedules, the gap between Hall's record and modern streaks only widened. Glenn Hall's 502 consecutive games stands as a testament to a different era of hockey tough, one that modern players with their advanced equipment and medical care simply cannot replicate. As goaltending continues to evolve into a position shared between teammates rather than dominated by a single player, this record moves further from being challenged and deeper into hockey legend. Record number 6, Dave Schultz's 472 penalty minutes in a single season. The 6th unbreakable record takes us back to the rough and tumble 1970s, when hockey's physical side often overshadowed its skill. During the 1974-75 season, Philadelphia Flyers enforcer Dave the Hammer Schultz accumulated a staggering 472 penalty minutes in just 76 games. This wasn't just a player who spent time in the penalty box. Schultz practically made it his second home, averaging over 6 minutes per game serving penalties. Schultz was the most feared member of the infamous Broad Street Bullies, a Flyers team that intimidated opponents on their way to back-to-back Stanley Cup championships. In an era when fighting was not just common but expected, Schultz elevated the enforcer role to new heights. His season included 26 major penalties for fighting, countless roughing minors, and game misconducts that build up the seemingly impossible total. The game has changed dramatically since Schultz's day. Today's NHL emphasizes speed and skill, with fighting declining steadily each season. Modern enforcers are nearly extinct, replaced by players who can both hit and contribute offensively. The league has implemented stricter rules against the kind of behavior that defined the Broad Street Bullies era, with automatic suspensions for accumulated fighting majors and harsher penalties for dangerous plays. For perspective, in recent NHL seasons, the penalty minute leaders typically finish with around 100 to 150 minutes, less than a third of Schultz's record. As hockey continues to move away from its fighting past and focuses on player safety, this record becomes more untouchable with each passing season. The combination of shorter seasons, 76 games and versus 82 now, stricter rules, and cultural changes in how hockey is played ensures that Schultz's 472 penalty minutes will remain an artifact of a bygone era in NHL history. Record number 5. Phil Esposito's 550 shots on goal in a season. Our fifth unbreakable record belongs to Boston Bruins legend Phil Esposito, who unleashed an incredible 550 shots on goal during the 1970-71 NHL season. This remarkable total breaks down to nearly 7 shots per game over a 78-game schedule, a rate of shooting that seems almost impossible in today's game. Esposito wasn't just shooting for volume. His aggressive approach to offense resulted in 76 goals that season, the second highest single-season total at that time. Esposito revolutionized the center position with his ability to establish position in front of the net, where he would receive passes and fire quick shots on goal before defenders could react. His shooting style wasn't about finesse or placement. It focused on getting the puck toward the net as often as possible, creating rebounds and chaos in the crease. This approach, combined with his natural goal-scoring ability, made him the most prolific shooter of his era. The modern NHL presents numerous obstacles to anyone hoping to challenge this record. Today's defensive systems are significantly more sophisticated, with teams employing structured shot-blocking schemes that simply didn't exist in Esposito's era. Modern defenders are bigger, faster, and trained specifically to prevent the kind of shooting lanes that Esposito regularly exploited. Even the equipment has evolved. Composite sticks allow for harder shots, but defensive players also wear advanced protective gear that makes them more willing to block shots. In recent seasons, the NHL shot leaders typically register between 300 to 350 shots per season, falling about 200 short of Esposito's mark. Even Alexander Ovechkin, widely considered the greatest goal scorer of the modern era, has never approached this level of shot production. As hockey continues to emphasize quality over quantity when it comes to shooting opportunities, Esposito's 550 shots in a single season stands as a monument to a different era of offensive hockey that we're unlikely to see again. Record number 4. Wayne Gretzky's 163 assists in a single season. Moving into the 4th position on our list, we encounter the first of multiple appearances by the Great One. During the 1985-86 season with the Edmonton Oilers, Wayne Gretzky recorded an astounding 163 assists, a playmaking exhibition that defies comprehension even decades later. This remarkable achievement meant Gretzky was contributing nearly 2 assists per game throughout the 80-game season, setting up teammates at a pace that Northwest player has come close to matching since. Gretzky's vision on the ice was unparalleled. He possessed an almost supernatural ability to anticipate where players would be, threading passes through defensive coverage that other players couldn't even see. The 1985-86 Oilers were the perfect environment for his playmaking genius, a team loaded with finishers like Jari Kurri, Glenn Anderson, and Paul Coffey, who could convert Gretzky's setups into goals. His assist total that season alone would rank him among the top point producers in NHL history. The modern NHL presents insurmountable barriers to approaching this record. Today's goaltenders are technically superior, with equipment and training that has dramatically reduced scoring across the league. Teams employ sophisticated defensive systems specifically designed to eliminate the cross-ice passes and open spaces that Gretzky exploited. The neutral zone trap, aggressive forechecking, and defensive structures implemented league-wide have fundamentally changed how offense is generated. For perspective, in recent NHL seasons, the league's assist leaders typically finish with 70 to 90 assists, barely half of Gretzky's record. Even in an exceptional year, today's top playmakers fall at least 60 assists short of Gretzky's mark. As defensive systems continue to evolve and goaltending excellence remains an all-time high, the gap between modern assist totals and Gretzky's 163 only widens. This record stands not just as a testament to Gretzky's genius, but as a reminder of a more wide-open era of hockey that simply doesn't exist in today's game. Record number 3. Wayne Gretzky's 2,857 career points. Our third unbreakable record brings us back to Wayne Gretzky, whose career total of 2,857 points, 894 goals, and 1,963 assists stands as perhaps the most untouchable statistical achievement in professional sports history. Over his 20 NHL seasons from 1979 to 1999, Gretzky didn't just set the all-time scoring record, he obliterated it. The magnitude of his dominance becomes clear when considering that the second-place finisher, Jaromir Jagr, retired with 1,921 points, a gap of 936 points, or more than many Hall of Famers scored in their entire careers. Gretzky's point production wasn't just consistent, it was historically dominant year after year. He recorded more than 200 points in a season 4 times, a threshold no other player has ever reached even once. During his peak years with the Edmonton Oilers, he averaged well over 2 points per game, maintaining an offensive pace that seems almost impossible by today's standards. Even in his final seasons, when age and injuries had diminished his physical abilities, his hockey intelligence allowed him to remain a productive playmaker. The modern NHL presents numerous obstacles to anyone hoping to challenge this career mark. Today's players begin their NHL careers later and typically play fewer games per season. The scoring environment has fundamentally changed, with team defensive structures, elite goaltending, and tactical innovations dramatically reducing overall scoring rates league-wide. Even career longevity presents a challenge. The physical toll of the modern game makes 20-year careers increasingly rare. Among active players, the career points leaders are nowhere near Gretzky's total. Even generational talents who have played for over a decade would need to maintain their peak production well into their 40s to have any hope of approaching the record. The mathematics make the challenge clear. To reach Gretzky's mark, a player would need to average 100 points over 28 full seasons, a combination of excellence and longevity that appears increasingly impossible in today's NHL. Gretzky's career points total doesn't just seem unbreakable. It exists in a statistical universe of its own. Record number 2, Montreal Canadiens' 5 consecutive Stanley Cups. The second spot on our list belongs not to an individual, but to one of hockey's most legendary dynasties. From 1956 to 1960, the Montreal Canadiens achieved what now seems unthinkable in professional sports, winning 5 consecutive Stanley Cup championships. Led by all-time greats like Maurice "Rocket" Richard, Gene Beliveau, Doug Harvey, and goaltender Jacques Plante, the Canadiens dominated the NHL during this period in a way that no team has matched before or since. This remarkable championship streak occurred during the NHL's original 6 era, when the league consisted of just 6 teams. However, this doesn't diminish the achievement. The Canadiens had to overcome talented rivals like the Detroit Red Wings and Toronto Maple Leafs year after year. The playoff format was also challenging, requiring teams to win 2 best-of-7 series against elite competition. Montreal's dominance during this period was so complete that they went 40-9 in playoff games throughout the 5-year run. The modern NHL structure makes this record virtually impossible to match. Today's league features 32 teams, creating a level of parity unimaginable in the original 6 era. The introduction of the salary cap in 2005 specifically prevents teams from stockpiling talent, forcing champions to regularly part with key players. The modern playoff format is far more grueling, requiring 16 wins through 4 rounds against increasingly desperate opposition. Free agency, expansion drafts, and the physical toll of longer playoff runs all work against sustained dynasty building. For perspective, no team in the salary cap era has won more than 2 consecutive Stanley Cups. Even acknowledged modern dynasties like the Chicago Blackhawks and Pittsburgh Penguins managed only 3 championships in a decade, with years between their victories. The combination of league parity, financial restrictions, and the extraordinary difficulty of modern playoff runs ensures that Montreal's 5 consecutive championships will remain an untouchable record from hockey's golden age. As the NHL continues to evolve toward greater competitive balance, the possibility of matching this achievement grows more remote with each passing year. Record number 1, Wayne Gretzky's 92 goals in a single season. At the top of our list stands the most untouchable individual scoring record in NHL history, Wayne Gretzky's 92 goals during the 1981-82 season with the Edmonton Oilers. This remarkable achievement shattered the previous record of 76 goals set by Phil Esposito just a decade earlier. Over an 80-game schedule, Gretzky maintained a goal-scoring pace of 1.15 goals per game, finding the back of the net with astonishing consistency against the best goaltenders of his era. The 1981-82 season represented the perfect storm for Gretzky's goal-scoring explosion. At just 21 years old, he combined youthful energy with rapidly developing hockey intelligence. The Oilers' high-flying offensive system gave him freedom to create scoring opportunities that other teams couldn't match. Gretzky's ability to read plays before they developed allowed him to find open ice where others saw none. Perhaps most impressively, he maintained this torrid scoring pace while also recording 120 assists that same season, contributing on nearly 50% of all Oilers goals scored. The modern NHL presents insurmountable obstacles to approaching this record. Today's goaltenders are fundamentally different from their 1980s counterparts, larger, more athletic, technically superior, and using equipment that covers significantly more net space. Defensive systems have evolved dramatically, with teams employing structured approaches specifically designed to eliminate the time and space that elite scorers need. Video analysis allows coaches to identify and neutralize offensive tendencies in ways impossible during Gretzky's era. For context, in recent NHL seasons, the league's top goal scorers typically finish with 50 to 60 goals, about 30 to 40 short of Gretzky's record. Even Alexander Ovechkin, widely considered the greatest pure goal scorer of the modern era, has never managed more than 65 goals goals in a season. As goaltending continues to advance and defensive systems grow more sophisticated, the gap between modern goal totals and Gretzky's 92 only widens. This record stands as the ultimate testament to both Gretzky's individual brilliance and a bygone era of NHL hockey when offense reigned supreme in a way we're unlikely to ever witness again. The 7 records we've explored represent more than just numbers in the NHL history books. They stand as monuments to extraordinary achievement across different eras of hockey. What makes these records truly unbreakable isn't just their statistical impressiveness, but the fundamental changes to the game that have occurred since they were established. As hockey has evolved through rules changes, equipment advances, and tactical innovations, these benchmarks have moved from difficult to virtually impossible to surpass. Several other remarkable NHL records narrowly miss inclusion on our list. Joe DiMaggio's 56-game hitting streak in baseball often gets attention as an unbreakable record, but hockey has its own version in Mario Lemieux's 46.3% power play efficiency during the 1988-89 season. Bobby remains the only defenseman to win the Art Ross Trophy as the league's leading scorer, doing so twice. The 1976-77 Montreal Canadiens lost just 8 games in an 80-game season, a winning percentage that modern parity makes unreachable. What truly separates these 7 untouchable records is how they transcend their eras to capture something timeless about hockey excellence. Glenn Hall's Ironman streak speaks to the position's physical and mental demands. Dave Schultz's penalty minutes represent hockey's more rugged past. Phil Esposito's shot total demonstrates pure offensive determination. Wayne Gretzky's 3 appearances on our list for assists, career points, and single-season goals underscore why he earned the name the Great One. And the Montreal Canadiens' 5 straight cups remind us of a time when dynasties could truly dominate the sport. As the NHL continues to evolve, new records will certainly be established and many existing marks will fall. But these 7 achievements stand apart, growing more impressive with each passing season rather than less. They represent the absolute pinnacle of what's been accomplished in professional hockey, benchmarks so extraordinary that they may truly stand forever, connecting modern fans to the game's rich history while showcasing the remarkable athletes who push the boundaries of what seemed possible on the ice.